Something I've been asked a lot about is to do a review on Profit Protector Pro, my current repricer. And I was thinking about it, and I think it would just be tedious because all of that sensitive information I would have to blur out. I'm not giving away my entire catalog, right? But what I'm going to do instead, I've used three repricers over the years. I'm going to tell you which ones, why, the pros and the cons, and why I am currently using Profit Protector Pro and why I'm happy with it. Before we dive into that, though, just in case anyone's not familiar, a repricer, simply put, is something that connects to your Amazon account, and there's a lot on the market, and you can set a minimum and a maximum. And I'm putting this as simply as possible. And because the buy box constantly changes, and the number one factor from my understanding in winning the buy box is being priced appropriately, not necessarily the cheapest, appropriately. So if you set something between $17 and $20, say the lowest I ever will sell this for right now is 17 and 20, and the buy box is 18.69, it should do its job to keep you right around there, maybe a little higher, a little lower, etc. But it shouldn't just drop you to $17. As soon as you have like 50, 100 items, it becomes absolutely necessary right away. I don't subscribe to a lot of products. Keepa, Inventory Lab, and Repricer to me are all day one softwares, and I probably only use one or two more outside of that. Okay. But Repricer, it's worth its weight in gold, right? It's going to get you more sales and at a higher profit. And it would be so tedious for you to go in multiple times a day to move things to fit the buy box. Okay. So just know a repricer is non-negotiable in my opinion. And I think most people will tell you that, especially again, once you have 50, 100 items. So anyway, I started off with what is called Aura, Aura. It was not AI based. It was rule based, meaning if this happens, then do this, right? And so what I found with that, it was a great starting spot. I think it was like $97 a month, but it was too labor intensive for me. I had to go in there item by item frequently to mix and match. Now, I will say, looking back on it, I was earlier on in my Amazon journey. Maybe I didn't know as much back then, or I could have been more efficient. I liked the price point. It got the job done, but it was very rigid in that it was rule based. Whereas in the other two I'll talk about are AI based. So you're trusting it to kind of do things uh, more loosely. The best analogy I can give, I was thinking about, imagine like if you played basketball, for instance, and you had a coach that said, every single time, this position, you stand right here, and this position, you stand right here. And when the ball's over there, you go here. And when the ball's here, you go there, right? Very rigid. Whereas an AI, I think, allows you to be a, imagine the players, having a feel for it and understanding, I need to go in this area, but if I see something, I don't have to go to this exact spot, right? That's kind of how I envision it. And I actually think that's a pretty good analogy if I say so myself. So hopefully that paints the picture. So then I went to SellerSnap. I was part of a group that really preached for it. Come to find out, they probably have a great affiliate program, if I had to guess. But it was AI based. It was it saved me a lot of time. I set a low and a max, and it did the work for me, basically. That one was $500 a month. What I liked about it, AI based, it didn't take me a lot of time at all. Okay. What I didn't like about it was the price point. And I don't think you can even justify that price point until you're doing 20, 30, 40K a month in sales, to be very honest with you. I'm all for spending the money when applicable, right? But $500, that's not $500 more in sales. If you're doing like 20% margin, that means that you would have to do $2,500 extra in sales to make that a wash, right? So what really was the tipping point, I just thought was bad business. And listen, there's exceptions to the rule. I'm just a number to them. There was like a week where they had a glitch, and I reached out and said, well, look, my sales were consistently here. They fell off, which, by the way, A, really goes to show how valuable repricers are. But B, they lost me money because of their software glitch, whatever. And I said, I thought I was being reasonable, as a business owner myself. I would like 1 or 2 months of free repricing, 500, $1,000, which is basically would have been a break even. And they ended up sending up a generic email, I think, to people in certain tiers that basically said you can get 125 off, 25% off 1 month. So it was $125. I had been questioning the $500 price point for a while. And that just catapulted me out of there, like left such a bad taste in my mouth, that I was just a number, which I understand, but like they got that one so wrong. 125, that's not even a couple products missed that would have made up for that. But anyway, I thought it was too expensive in general. Did some research, connected with people, and I found Profit Protector Pro, AI based, $65 a month. So $435 cheaper than SellerSnap and AI based. Like anything, it took me a little while to figure it out. And I will give a tip or two that I've learned, but same thing, not that time intensive. You kind of let it use its systems to adjust the price. They are really about um, maximizing your profit. They have a lot of different default rules that you can use. And that's the one thing that I've learned from that. You can use certain ones, they won't drop it to the buy box, which could mean you won't get as much sales, but you will get a higher profit on your sales. So depending on certain items, that may work for you. For me, I like moving it a little bit faster. So what I found is to use one of their aggressive repricing strategies. So let's just say I said minimum 15, max 20, and the buy box is I don't know, $16. They're going to be right around $16. Now, some of their other methods, they might say, hey, this goes up to $17.99 buy box 20% of the time. Why don't we wait it out? I didn't like doing that. So what I did was an aggressive repricer, and I basically set it so that whatever the minimum is, I'm okay if it sells for that. Not like worst case, but like this is what I expect it to be at. Anything above this is gravy type of thing. And that's worked really well for me. It's very easy to use. It works. AI based, and you cannot beat the price. And I do have an affiliate link down below. Again, I think you have to be using a repricer very early on in this process. At $65 a month, just know with any repricer, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but as soon as you set it, you're going to see a spike in sales right away. And then like anything, it's what you make of it. How are you going to learn different things? Another tip before I forget, there's different settings. You can have it so that like basically in the middle of the night, you can increase your pricing. And the reason for that is if everybody is using a repricer and their repricers are following the buy box and other prices, if you creep it up, everybody can be crept up. And then anybody who gets the sales, the buy box is higher in general. There's many a times I wake up in the morning and I have gotten a sale for something that normally sells for $10 less. Now it's not as frequent, but it just goes to show you the power of that. So it kind of is just like a reset. Let's start at the top of the hill, then work our way down instead of just sitting at the bottom of the hill, just taking what it is, So that's a little tip for you too, but that's with any repricer. So anything's what you make of it. They're all good. I like the price point. I like AI. It's worked well for me. Last month, I just made a video on, I did my best month yet at $93,000 in sales. I don't think anyone's doing numbers like that without having a repricer that it's doing its job. Okay. So check out the link if you're into it. Like I said, I would have liked to go more in depth, but the amount of blurring and blocking out just wouldn't have made it worthwhile. But get a repricer. And I appreciate you guys being here. I'm Jonathan, Duke Does Amazon. Spotify, Instagram, Duke Does Amazon. I got some links below. Questions, comments, let me know. And have a great day. Take care.